she has been heralded for her focus on lowering taxes, lowering fees, and cutting wasteful government spending. Her constituents know her as a hardworking businesswoman and a representative not afraid to ask the tough questions. Dr. Wade received her Bachelor of Science in Biology from Greensboro College in 1975. By 1980, Trudy Wade graduated with her doctorate of veterinary medicine from Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. Trudy has had more than 30 years of experience as a small business owner and an operator. As owner of Jamestown Veterinary Hospital in Jamestown, North Carolina, Dr. Wade has practiced veterinary medicine with a primary emphasis in small animal treatment. We are so thrilled that Trudy could come and speak to us today.
My name is Trudy Wade, and I want to serve you in the North Carolina Senate. Let me tell you a little something about myself. I know most of you know me here, but there are some few new faces. But I'm sure I'll see you many times on the campaign trail. I'm a local girl. I was born right here in Guilford County. Been here my whole life. Went to Ragsdale High School and Greensboro College. Then I went to veterinary school, and of course, I came back here and started my own business in Jamestown. I was the first female veterinarian to open their own practice in Guilford County. I do a lot of firsts. When I opened my business in Jamestown, we had a Rotary Club, but guess what? It was all males. So I gave them advertisement for a while for their horse show, and finally, I said when they came in one time to pick up my check, I said, you know what, you guys have never asked me to join the Rotary. And I mean, it was like, what? You're a female. And so I was the first woman president of Jamestown Rotary. Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about the state senate and why I would like to go. I have some real reasons to want to serve. In fact, I have 3 overarching goals that I want to bring to Raleigh. The first goal would be jobs and economic prosperity. And you say, what do you mean by that? Well, if you look at small business today, and I do own a small business, and I've owned one for 30 years, businesses are getting smaller and smaller and smaller because they're having to let people go, and they're barely making it in this economy. Before we know it, they're just going to disappear. So we've got to change that. And how do we change that? 1, we lower taxes. We make it, lower it on all businesses and individuals so we can go out and spend and stimulate this economy. What do? We cut spending at the state level so you don't have to pay as much in taxes. What else do? We take off these regulatory burdens that businesses have. Everybody stands up here and says that. Well, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means to me as a small business owner. I'll just give you an example. I had a fire inspector come in, and by the time he had left, now I've been there 30 years, and they inspect us all the time. By the time he left, I'd racked up about $800 I had to pay in fixing things. Now, I don't want my building to burn down, but it keeps changing, and they get no drop cords. You have to move this receptacle. And finally, he told me that I have a lot of fire hydrants in there, and I'm a veterinarian. My fire hydrants are up high, okay? And my receptacle and he said, well, no, you got to lower, now my building, I got to lower all my receptacles and put new on my fire hydrants. And I said, sir, if I do that, every male dog that comes in here is going to welcome that receptacle. And he's going to put out the lights in my building. That's what I'm talking about regulations. They don't understand. We need to go through and see what regulations we really need. We need to make North Carolina the #1 business-friendly state. Second, I think we need to promote family-friendly North Carolina values. And you all know I took a stand, even though the city council does not have any jurisdiction over the marriage amendment, we certainly brought that up, and I know you all know that vote was 8-1. Well, actually one person didn't really vote on it, so it counted as 8-1. And I'm certainly for supporting the General Assembly, the Republican-run General Assembly on the marriage amendment. And is to push conservative policy changes. What I mean by that, golly, for the first time in 100 years or more, the Republicans have control of the Senate. Go us. And I hope we continue to do that, and I want to help go down there and support things like voter ID, the gas tax cap, and a lot of other things that our so-called governor has vetoed. We need to go down and push those issues. One thing I want to talk to you about, how am I doing on time?
6 more minutes.
Okay. Another thing I want to talk to you about that I think is pivotal for this year is it's our chance to go out and elect our representatives. Now, while I'm doing this, I want to name a few people. First, we're going to be able to get a Republican governor. I believe that in my heart. Second, we got a justice on the Supreme Court. Justice Newby, we need to put him back. And I just want to talk a minute. We have our job as voters also. We get to go out and elect the people that serve us. And I want to say something about that. I think you should go out and elect proven leaders, leaders that you know will stand up to the liberal media and others that are liberal, and that you can count on them to stand up, and that have proven they can do that. Now, I have other candidates in my race, but I want you to think about that. Because in my opinion, having been on the Greensboro City Council, we don't need to elect another rhino. And you know what I mean by that, a Republican in name only. We need people that are going to stand up, not fold when the going gets tough. So you, as the voters, are going to make that decision. And I want you to go out and think about that when you do it. You know me, you've all known me for a long time, and you know I'm going to stand up. And you know I'm going to be strong on Republican principles. And I need your support in that, because without your support, I can't get elected. I also need all of you to work together to help me get the government boot off the neck of the citizens and the business of North Carolina. So please remember me. I have a website. It's trudyforsenate.com. I have Nicole Arnold here with me today, and she's going to pass around a sheet if any of you want to sign up and help. And for the rest of my time, I will really go there we go. For the rest of the time, I'd like to take questions if you have any. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Cinda Wall, and just before your arrival on new business, I brought up the news that the council was voting on banning guns in our parks. And I said, as a concealed weapons person, I feel that that's just saying open season on any female who is walking alone in the many parks that we have and secluded areas. It just kind of slid under the radar, but it really, to me, in my mind, does a lot against the independence of women being able to go safely anywhere in these towns. And I have read, also there was a letter to the editor that said, you know, what is wrong with the news and record that there's no reporting of the assaults and the robberies that do take place in the parks. Right? So I wanted to kind of get your feedback on that, and I did get some support from this body when I was talking about this, and it's, you know, I think we want to know what we can do.
Of course, we voted on it one time. Of course, I voted against the resolution to ban guns in the park, because I know that people that carry concealed weapons have gone through a lot of rigorous tests. They've also had fingerprinting, and they've gone through a background check, and I'm certainly for having guns to carry with concealed weapons. But what you're talking about is at the city council meeting, we voted last time, and the vote was 5-4. So therefore, the resolution to ban the guns in the park did not pass. Okay, I was on the side of the vote. It has to pass by a super majority. Okay? So they have to vote on it again next, not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. Okay? And if you need to come down and say something. one person came down and said, we don't want to ban guns in our park. Now, if you've been paying attention, Winston-Salem just did a resolution not banning and allowing you to carry concealed weapons. But here in Greensboro, our liberal majority on the board are pushing their issues and pushing them through without people really knowing about it. We know maybe at most a week in advance. The marriage amendment I knew like 2 days in advance when it arrived in my packet. So you need to get up, be motivated, go down to the city council meetings. I mean, it's fine for me to sit there and go 8-1, but I don't have any help and I'm not changing anything. So that they need to hear from the other citizens, because I'm sure that I'm not the only person standing there that wants to keep our guns concealed and in the park, because anything could happen, obviously.
And as they stand, if I follow the guidelines of concealed weapons and I feel that my life is truly threatened, and if I point a gun in the park, then I can be arrested.
Well, and I brought up some issues. They said, we asked actually what safety measures we have in the park, and when they answered they have cameras. I looked and told the park director, well, it's a little late, they get the picture of it, but it'll be a little late at that point. And being a female, I would not want to be alone in the park without having some protection with me.
What is the number for the supermajority?
Well, you have to have 7 votes.
Who are the ones that voted with you, the 4?
The 4 that voted with me, that would have been, I don't want to get these wrong now. So Nancy Vaughn, Zach Matheny, and I want to say Diane. Diane voted that way because she said we couldn't enforce it. She's exactly right. I can't imagine someone running with a wand checking everybody in the park. And certainly the people that are going to carry the guns in the park are the non-law-abiding citizens that are going in. It's like, you might as well put a neon sign out, people are not carrying heat, so go in and rob us. Go to the park, that's your best bet, because law-abiding citizens can't carry weapons. Any other questions?
Trudy, is it not true this next vote that they take is not, you do not, okay. You do not have to have a supermajority vote this next time?
That's right, you do not. It just has to pass. So, you know, if I was going to tell you to call anybody, I'd call Jim Key, but I didn't really say that. And express my opinion. But somebody that might switch and see our side. Are there any other questions? Well, always it's a joy to come and speak with you and see you. And if you think of any questions, certainly have a telephone, and you all know my number. I'm at Jamestown Veterinary Hospital. My home number's in the book, so please feel free to call me anytime. And please remember, vote Trudy Wade for Senate 27. Thank you so much.